So all I gotta do is just get an OG state ID, and then people who come in next like 2 years, I'll be considered like an OG of the city because I was around for like 3 years of 3.0. It's quality, mate. I'm looking forward to being like an NoPixel OG.
Hey Daddy Josh, how are you?
What's good? What's good? I'm fine. Anyone see my stream earlier on YouTube? We did some Fortnite. We did Rocket Racing and Lego Fortnite. Tell you what, Rocket Racing is a vibe. Wait, when the servers actually work, that'd be great. Sorry, wrong number. Do you think it's time we have to talk? Call me if I'm questioned. I don't think he won't be awake. No chance. Some people stuff for the Angels is pointless now. Nah, it's not. Like, what? He is awake. Yo. I was not expecting you to answer the phone.
You weren't?
No, what the fuck?
Were you like stunned when I said hello? Ugh.
Yeah, in a way. What the fuck's going on? You booty calling me, and then now you text me need to talk. What's going on?
That was the wrong. Sorry, mate. It'll be a lie if I told you it was wrong. It wasn't.
What the fuck is your booty call?
I was in my fields, mate. There's only so many jobs you can lose, before.
Oh, is that what you care about? Their jobs?
It just gets to you. Absolutely not. But
well, it sounds like it is because you said so many jobs you can lose using your feelings. So it sounds like you do care. Because why would you choose jobs and then be in your feelings? You don't care about the jobs in the first place.
I do care about my jobs. See, I think you know that. I mean, I'm not somebody that underestimated you as a person that had the connections that you had. It appears to be that the rest of the gang did, and I'm not quite sure why. Anyway, I see.
Egos, it's egos.
Yeah,
I spent a couple of days solo, and I've learned a whole lot about the MDM that maybe feelings that I thought I had that then been validated by many people in the city. Suddenly people's mouths smiled quite quickly when they realised that I'm not part of MDM no more. I haven't got to worry about me being there anymore.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, how quick did
finally we can start doing something to them?
Yeah. How quick did the Angels take up the opportunity to run Gold Rush?
I wouldn't say really quickly, to be honest.
But
it didn't take convincing. There's more.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Is they trusted me and they knew I'm gonna fuck them over, which is the same thing.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, the last time I spoke to Claire, she said the chance of giving a MDM member any position of work at Pornhub, is in the negatives. And to be honest, I don't really blame her. I think
you guys right now.
There's a bit of stuff that went on between the MDM and Angels from both sides. But ultimately, that was a relationship that we fucked up.
Not me.
No, absolutely. And I think it was exactly the same thing with the Hydra situation. People thought everything was sweet until they realized, that the relationship. Yeah, they had a few good relationships with a few members of the MDM, but ultimately, how was that relationship with Hydra and the MDM founded originally? It was built from your back.
Yeah,
and absolutely, this has been a wake-up call for a lot of people, and I don't know what it is, and I've said this to them. I feel like
he's actually like,
I wouldn't say delusion,
glazing,
but I think there's a bit of, some people are in a bit of denial.
Entirely.
I suppose how much the MDM actually had and how heavy the name weighed, with you in the group. But I still, regardless of everything that's happened, I don't believe you want the bad for the MDM. Maybe you do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm, not right to think that. But, I know you like riddles. I know you like putting things together. And I suppose it's a shame that night that, I wasn't around because they told me, how it nearly took them 40 minutes to work out a riddle about.
It was just basically telling them in a skewed way.
Yeah, no, I get that. But, I mean, I think it still took them a lot longer than it should have done. Maybe that's
why
they were
too focused on me.
Yeah. Yeah,
they
exactly.
Chasing me down instead and trying to shoot me and shooting Winston instead. I was actually like,
yeah. That's why Patar's arm.
And I told him to
Patar's arm fell off. I don't know whether you know that his arm fell off.
Yeah, I spoke to the doctor.
Yeah.
And they tried to blame me, saying that I took off his arm or something, and I was like,
oh, well, yeah. Originally, they told me you chopped it off. Yeah. I
they
quickly
told
found
you
out that
I chopped it off.
yeah, well, the half of the gang did, and then the other half came to the meeting, and then we worked out that
Sounds like
it was
right,
actually
man
frostbite.
comes all over again.
Yeah. I'll be honest, mate. I'm not here to convince you, to stay, and I don't really think that should have ever been the case anyway. I believe that you wanted to step away, but you wanted to step away, for the benefit of the Mandem. I think, unfortunately, we've proven that unfortunately we don't run as well as we thought we ran. I suppose without you at the helm of the gang, regardless of whether you were absent or not.
These are your feelings, though, not the gang's feelings. And if they're your feelings, I don't know if you've taken it up with the gang and put your point across. I don't know if people in the gang are starting to turn, but as far as I'm aware, I'm still being kind of flexed on and no balls to go about my business. They're not taking me seriously.
What do you mean flexed and no balls?
Well, that's the issue, Mandem, right? A lot of people in the city have issued them just like flexing, which is my money, and flexing just who they are. Which a lot of gangs rub not the wrong way. Even with me,
who no balls you?
I spoke to SK, and I had a talk, and I was trying to see like where is like man was at, and obviously he's trying to chat to me, and I'm like, well, you probably shot me, so why the fuck I even talk to you? And he was trying to ask me why I'm chatting to all his gang members, and I'm like, well, I'm telling my side of the story because I know full well for you to be a leader and shoot me after everything I've done for the gang, you've got to go back and tell them a story that makes you look good. Otherwise, people are going to turn you as a leader very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then he was like, stop playing his mind, like, you're playing mind games. I know you all too well. Like, you're trying to read me as if I was like playing mind games. He was like, oh yeah, I know what you're doing. You're playing mind games, trying to get inside people's heads and stuff like that. He was like, I know you all too well. And I was like, okay, well, if you think I'm playing mind games, then that's a you problem. And if you want me to play mind games, then I'll start playing mind games with you guys. And he was like, all right, game on. So
yeah,
that was the open invitation for me to start playing games. So instantly, I snatched Ved. I shook him up a little bit. Didn't hurt him, just shook him up. Made him scared enough to realize that I was serious. Because Patar didn't take me seriously initially when I said, I'll make your guys living hell if you don't give me the money back.
Yeah,
Then Patar seemed to come to his senses and go against you guys, and he came to visit me, and he gave me all my shit back.
I'll be honest, the only reason he gave you the shit back was, I'm not going to take all credit for it, but I had a conversation with him and say, how do you really feel like about what you did? And he regretted it, and I said, well, you need to speak to SK, and you need to actually, between the both of you, you need to put that right. I'll be honest, regardless of, they seem to think that stealing something from you was leverage, and I'm not really sure what they thought it was leverage against, because it was leverage against.
Made themselves worse, yeah.
Well, it was leverage against what they'd done. Does that make sense? The only leverage they had is for stealing it.
It's like insurance because they know they fucked up, basically.
Yeah. So I just said fuck it. If you're gonna steal it, then fair enough. Go and tell people you stole it and act like you wanted to steal it. But if you're stealing that, then having doubts about stealing it, then why the fuck have you still got it? If you can't even steal it with fucking any kind of, dick swinging, then why have we even stolen it in the first place? We've stolen it and we're upset that we stole it. So why have we even done that? So I suppose that's what led to him giving it you back. Unfortunately,
yeah, I used him as a chess piece. I said, thank you. You're now my chess piece. I'm not going to hurt you, but you're my chess piece. Took him around the city, took him in photos, different spots of him. And he got to see how much of a shambles the gang really was. And yeah, I could just tell like he was tired of it. I was tired of it. For one last final hoorah, I took him up north, on a boat, put him on an island, cuffed him, gave him a little smack on the head, just daze him a little bit, so nothing stupid, whilst you guys come and get him. And then I guess you guys took so long to fucking get him that that's what happened to him. He got frostbite, I was saying. But
I'll be honest, I think
we were on good terms. I mean, good enough for him anyway. He conveying his love for me, and I told him that I loved him too. And he said, "What about now?" And I said, "No, not anymore," because ultimately, people forget I was trying to leave the gang, not the family, and by shooting me and robbing me, that was me out of the family. You turned your back on me, not me turning back on you.
Mm-hmm. You see, what we did in that situation is exactly the same story as like in Mandem for the past 6 months. We put ourselves in situations that ultimately we think we can deal with,
the issue, Denzel,
but we can't.
As much as you can be rational and you can talk and you can understand sides, you have that intellect, right?
Mhm.
Ultimately, you're still just talking, and that's the issue with Mandem is they don't act. It's all talk. One person will say one thing. Let's say you say that opinion, right? Well, SK will say something else. Matt will say something else. Matt will be egging me on to try and do more, and I'll say it's my block and that's my demands. I want my block back because I own the block and I built everything that's there. And ultimately, you guys are doing disservice and discrediting the gang that I built.
No, absolutely.
There. So I said I'm your landlord and it's eviction time, and he's like, we're gonna defend this block like it's ours. You know what I mean? And we ain't paying you back. And then I'm like, well, what if I kick you out? And he's like, you ain't. You know what I mean? So then he tries to egg me on. Thinks I won't do anything. Same as Vince. Vince thinks I didn't have Batar, right? Vince was convinced that I didn't have Batar. And he's like, go on and take a photo. If you're about it, take a photo of your Batar. So there you go.
It is crazy. Thing is, T, the one thing I don't understand is these boys hold you in such high regard that you're capable of a lot of things when you're in the Mandem. And all of a sudden, when you take a step away and when you become the enemy, they forget what you're capable of. And,
you know, the ego's gone wild. I think, you know, they had handouts from me indirectly through Patar for a long time that their egos got so out of control they're just forgetting.
Well, it's like the whole really I mean, they told me nobody cares about UKL, nobody cares about Gold Rush, nobody cares about MDMR, nobody cares about the meth lab. But in reality, I said, well, actually, I care about all of those things. You know, if one person in a gang cares enough about all of those things, you know, then why can't we at least be united in, you know, making a decision about what we care about? You know, they were happy to care about things when, you know, stuff was funded through them indirectly and they didn't realize it was being done. They had no idea where that money was coming into Gold Rush through. You know, they weren't the people that were, you know, processing 50,000 gold bars, you know, week by week, putting gold pans in the store religiously. But they don't care about it, so it's fine, you know? But I've told them all this. I'll be honest, this isn't a phone call to, I suppose, you know, try and make anything happen differently or to try and change your mind. Because I'll be honest,
you can't change anything other than telling your gang leader that he's fucked up and he's just a weak, insecure leader.
Exactly. And there's no point me doing that because, I mean, everything that has been said has probably been said about 300 different times. But I don't know if it makes any difference. But I understood what you were trying to do, if that does make sense from the start. I kind of, when everything was said to me, so as regardless of your explanation, it did make sense. But unfortunately, you know, sometimes people bite the hand that feeds them. And then the only thing that can bring people, you know, back down to earth is losing everything that they have. And unfortunately, I think that might be the case for the Mandem.
Yeah, it was very much a fuck around and find out.
I mean, to hear that they've
good for them.
You know? I mean, to hear that they've
you say you're still part of them.
I am. To hear, no, but what I'm saying is to hear the people inside, you know, Mandem, the gang that I am part of, and that have no-balls you to do things. I wasn't aware of this previously.
Patar did it. SK did it. Matt's done it. Vince done it. Eli's
so
done it.
That adds a bit more. That adds a bit more.
Who else on that list has done it? I mean, Saint hasn't. Steve hasn't. You haven't. Fed hasn't really, no.
Yeah, but still, I kind of people were acting kind of surprised when you were doing things, and I suppose even I couldn't put my finger on why I suppose the sudden switch up in the way that you were acting. But if you've been, I suppose, you know, challenged to do these things, then why wouldn't you do them? And you know, I love Patar. Like I worked alongside him for a very, very long time. But you know, it's a shame about the arm, but you know, maybe that smack across the head that you gave him will knock some sense into him. Because I don't know what happened to him the past few weeks, but it definitely wasn't the Patar that invited me into this gang. You know, it definitely wasn't the Patar that I spent months with.
No, I mean, I told him many times, you know, it's not the same guy. And SK ain't
but
the same
also
guy
something that I said, is, and you must see this as well, when apparently everybody stood in a circle and elected SK as the new leader of the Mandem. And the day after, I said, all these people are standing here and they're going to elect, you know, SK to be this leader and they're going to back him. You don't need to be making his time like any harder than, like, you can stand here now and back him, but as soon as, you know, some, I suppose, hard times come up, are you actually going to, you know, follow through with that? You're choosing that, you're appointing this guy as your leader. And, you know, as soon as something like this has happened, you You know, there's already kind of splits forming within the group.
Oh, I mean, SK made you guys your bed, so twice. Not only by shooting me, but then robbing me with Patar, and then third, doubling down and saying, "All right, game on." I mean, you asked me to play games.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, he was appointed leader of this gang. So I suppose you have to expect people to stand by him.
He's made 3 decisions and he's fucked it all up. So I said to him, even on the phone, I said, I'd expect that if it was my gang, people would turn around to me saying, what the fuck? Like, these aren't the right choices. And if I'm hearing every single gang member saying that to me, then maybe as leader, I'll be like, you know what, actually, maybe I'm making the wrong choices. I got to do what's best for the gang, not best for myself and best for my ego.
So what do you want, T? Like, what is the end? You know, how does this end?
I wanted what was best for the Mandem.
Okay.
But
what's best for the Mandem?
Oh, no, that's what I wanted.
You don't think that's achievable?
And then I got shot, got robbed. Now I've been asked to play games, and I've seen the absolute shambles that gang is and the people inside it are. So, yeah, I don't think it's even possible. If anything, right now, I probably would prefer to destroy it entirely or take it all back. It's not very hard. I've not listed a finger so far, and as far as I know, that gang's in disarray. You know, everyone's like back-chatting others. Everyone's snaking them behind their back, saying, like, bad-mouthing them. People are trying to maybe, like, steer away from SK. It's all going crazy over there, you know?
I think people sometimes get very emotional, you know, which is understandable in times like this because people have got a lot of respect for you. Yeah, and, you know,
a gang member, be a good leader. You can't be emotional in times like this. You have to be logical.
Absolutely. No, I agree.
If you're going to be emotional, then you need to go somewhere else, mate.
Yeah, 100%.
Because what, when times get tough or when you're in a heated situation of a gang, what, you're going to get emotional and act on it? Or you're only going to have yourself to blame when it happens? You know, you're going to face the consequence of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you can agree, you know, filling your shoes is you know, a big thing to do. And I think, you know, from the moment...
I wanted to step away entirely because I didn't want someone to have to have me right over their shoulder thinking, oh shit, is he agree or approve of what I'm doing?
Yeah, and I don't think, you know, people realised that was the main reason that you wanted to detach yourself from the Mandem. Because you knew that nobody was going to take a new leader of the Mandem seriously if you were still in the gang.
Yeah. Yeah, well, at least you see it. You know, when it all blows over, maybe in like 5 years' time, maybe you can mow my lawn.
What? What? I mean, you'll give me a job.
I said 5 years' time, though, so.
I mean, okay. I'll save the date.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can start mowing it just by doing it manually. Eventually, I'll give you like a proper lawnmower you can sit on.
How big's the lawn? What are we talking?
I might upgrade my house, you know.
Fucking hell, is that the whole hill as well?
Who knows? I might change.
Okay, T. Well, it's probably the longest conversation we've ever had, isn't it?
No, probably not. We've had longer conversations, I feel. Maybe not like one-to-one.
Actually, no, to be fair, I sung you a whole album in Wu Chang, actually. Yeah. Well, I'll release that one day. Right. I'll get you in. I'll get you.
Realistically, though, on a more serious note, at least when shit hits the fan further or shit blows over, at least you know in your right mind that you had it right.
Yeah. I'd love to say there's anything that could be changed, and you know, I think, yeah, you already know there isn't. At the end of the day, I'll stand with the boys regardless. But I did know what your intentions were until it all went sideways.
Maybe you should work harder on trying to get people to think the right way before it's too late.
Yeah, I've been trying, but I'm sure you're aware of how difficult it can be.
Yep, I know. You might have to take a more aggressive route, you know, if you want to get through to people.
What do you recommend?
It's on you to decide, not me. Not my gang.
So you say take it all back, or what was the other phrase you used?
Destroy it.
Destroy it. What is the what approach are you going for?
Well, it's not hard, is it? Like, I've not lifted a finger yet, and it's already falling apart. So just one little like push, and it will be done. Really. It's pretty easy, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Imagine I've not even lifted a finger. I've not pulled a trigger. I've done nothing. Realistically, like one push of a button, I can make that whole thing just blow up in your face.
I think I get what you're putting down.
Do you though?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to put the phone down now.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you, T.
Later on.
Talk to you in a few years, mate.
Yeah, 5 years precisely.
5 years exactly. This
Yeah.
date, this time.
No, next week, 5 years.
Okay, right. Yeah, we'll sure we'll bump into each other.
Stay safe out there.
You too, mate.